right, and now we're back. Sorry about that. Part 2 of the high noon edition of today's Pugs and Company. Just had a little bit of a problem. Got to make sure that we get E back. Let's see here. I got to tell him to reconnect. Hey, but the good news is I think the logo's gone. We'll see. Hold on. With new. Yeah. This is what happens when we fly by the seat of our pants. All right. Let's go back to the chat. All right. I'm sorry, you guys. There's okay. As soon as E reconnects, I'll explain what I did wrong. I know it's a learning process. I know what I did wrong. There are two logos that are exactly the same, but they are in two different columns. And hi, April. And I accidentally hit the wrong one, which basically restarted the show, which wasn't good. So when Ed yells at me, we'll get to that. All right. Just waiting for you to reconnect. As we say, I was going through the story about my kid having the traumatic event with some flakes that have frosting on it. And they weren't great this morning because he found a bug in them. And I had just been going through the remainder of it to see what the deal is. They seem fine to me. There are no bugs. I don't know where he is. Let's call him. See why he's not connecting. Mm-hmm. Maybe he went to the bathroom or something. Here he is.
Hello.
How come you didn't reconnect? Is it not working?
Well, I'm trying to. Yeah, no, I'll get there in a minute. I've got something that popped up I had to fix.
Okay, there you go. All right, he'll be here in a second. It is December the 21st, the 355th day of the year. 10 days remain till the end of the year, and I think that we're talking about, I think we're just 4 days until Christmas. All right, Ed the boss is telling me it wouldn't have restarted the show. You just needed to let the video play out. Or if you would have just clicked out of the second time, it would have stopped playback. Lesson learned, Ed. God, he hates me. He should hate me. I bring absolutely nothing to the table, and he gives absolutely everything to this effort. And hopefully we'll be able to fix that at some point. All right. Today, let's see. We're going to talk about why today is okay. It's really not okay. There is just nothing going on in the world. So we're going to spend a lot of time on some less than crucial shit, I guess we'll say. I was really struggling. And it's not because my whole preparation methodology and routine has been upended because I got the kid with me all week, which is great. I love him. As we talked about, he had been in lockdown. He had been isolating. He'd been in his prison cell of a bedroom, which all prison cells should be that nice. Flat screen TV, PlayStation, access to computers and access to phones. So, it's really, his lockdown was basically my everyday life. And, but hey, for a 12-year-old kid in the Christmas season, nobody wants to be stuck inside. So he's free, he's out, and now he's with me this week, which may interrupt a few of the Pillow Talk shows this week. I should warn you of that. We're trying to do all of our Christmas stuff because I don't have them over Christmas. So we may be like, I don't know, looking at lights, doing stupid Christmas stuff at night. So that may, on some level, for the next few days, interrupt our Pillow Talk shows, but they will not interrupt our high noon shows. We will be doing high noon shows every day, all through the end of the year. We're not taking a break here. If the other shows that you like to listen to every day have some kind of interruption, where they bring in the B teamers and it's not the show you want to listen to, that's not going to happen here. We're going to give you everything consistently through the end of the year. No breaks for us. Why? Because I don't have a life, and this is what I do. And as I've said a number of times, this is the high point of my day. So I thank you all for that. Still don't see E, but we're just going to move ahead. All right. On this day, what happened on this day? In 1967, why today isn't so bad? Again, this is not a ripoff of Bob Sturm's Why Today Doesn't Suck. This is a variation of it. And I feel like I can do it without having to be guilty about ripping off Bob because Well, I was doing this in the 90s in Chicago with Kevin Matthews. Only we called it Today in History because, I don't know, apparently I was just phoning the segment in. But today, in 1967, a guy by the name of Louis Washkansky. Louis Washkansky was the first man to undergo a human-to-human heart transplant. First guy, first heart transplant on this day in 1967. I mean, he died 18 days later. 18 years later would be good. That'd be a good run. You get a little bit extra with the new. Cape Town, South Africa, this happened. And he lived for 18 days after the transplant. This is why, we talked about this a couple of days ago when it was the anniversary of the first sex change person. I believe it was a man to a woman. I don't know. But this is why I stated back then that you do not want to be the first through the door on any of these things. You don't. I can't imagine that somebody that had gender reassignment surgery in 1950, I don't imagine they worked all the bugs out of it yet. 70 years ago, 72 years ago now almost, I can't imagine that they had it down. Like, I think I got this figured out. You want to be a girl? All right, let's give it a shot. And, that guy was the guinea pig first through the door. Somebody's got to be. And on Today in 67, Louis Washkansky was the first person to undergo a human heart transplant. And again, he lived for 18 days. And I can't imagine those were good 18 days. I can't imagine that the 18 days that this guy lived, the extended 18 days of his life receiving a new heart in the first heart-to-heart transplant was enjoyable for him. I gotta imagine it sucked. I gotta imagine there was just 18 days of a heart attack pain, of just constant, whatever. I'd like to. This is interesting. Let's see if they can tell us what his last 18 days were like here. Operation and outcome. Okay, that's what we want. Washkansky received his heart transplant on December 67. The operation lasted approximately 6 hours, beginning at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay. With Christian Barnard leading a team of 30 surgeons, anesthesiologists, 30 surgeons, anesthesia. That's too many people. There's going to be a junior mint that's going to fall into that heart cavity. Groot Schuur Hospital in Cape Town, South Africa. The operation lasted, his brother, Marius Barnard, assisted with the surgery. Okay. So it was like two brothers. I don't know if that's good for moral support or if they were just, bickering back and forth, but whatever. 25-year-old Dennis Darvall and her mother had been struck by a drunk driver while crossing a busy street on a Saturday afternoon. Her mother died at the scene. Denise was taken to Groot Schuur. Peter Rose Innes, the hospital's senior neurosurgeon, attended to her. A skull x-ray showed 2 serious fractures. Okay, we don't care with the bone. Let's get this. In the 4 minutes Edward Duval took to reach his decision, he thought of his daughter. Okay, so these are the people who gave the he's back. All right, so this is more about the people who donated the heart. We're talking about in 1967, the first person to receive a heart-to-heart transplant.
Mm-hmm.
And how you don't want to be the first through the door on these major. He lived for 18 days after receiving a new heart. Now, I'm theorizing that those were the worst 18 days of his life. The first heart-to-heart transplant. He only lived for 18 days after it. Now people live for, they go on to have lives after having, that kind of surgery. But imagine how brutal those 18 days were for the guy who received the first new heart. It was,
he's, kind of one of the first guys through the door.
That's what the other day we were talking about the first sex change operation that occurred in 1950. We had that anniversary. And I was saying, now they seem to sort of have it down. I don't know. I haven't really seen the handiwork, but you know what I mean? It seems like it's 70 years later of sex change reassignment surgery. Gender reassignment, I guess is what they call it. And they had to have worked a few bugs out, right? From the 1950s. Like, you don't want to. It's just a mess. You know, I mean, just like, what are we looking at? Plastic surgery is so totally different now than it was back then. But this poor guy, he lived for 18 days after receiving the heart. It says here, although Washkansky died of pneumonia 18 days after the transplant because of a weakened immune system, Dr. Barnard regarded the surgery as a success because the heart was not being stimulated by an electrical machine. As Dr.
And he didn't die of
immediately.
That, I mean, he died of something else.
Right, but that's because the new heart didn't have an immune system. So the good with the bad, you know, they're working shit out. They're figuring it out. It's on the fly. As Barnard related in his book, One Life, a decision was made on the 5th post-operative day to bombard Washkansky's system with immunosuppressants to guard against a potential rejection of the new heart. As later heart transplants would reveal, the signs noted at the time were part of a resetting program for the new heart and not necessarily an indication of rejection. But don't you think he had chest pains the whole time? You know,
well, I mean, I'm sure he was sore.
Oh, God, it was just probably...
I mean, you know, you got that post-op soreness anytime, so...
Oh, my God.
But, I mean, got 18 more days than, you know, he would have had.
I guess.
Well, maybe. I don't know. Because, you know, when they decide they're going to take your heart out and move it, it's not like you're dead at that point.
Okay, Lewis, we got some bad news for you. You need a new heart. And we've never done this before. We don't think that you're going to like what we're going to try. But the good news is we're feeling lucky.
Well, I think he knew they needed a new heart even before they found one. It's not like you just order it up on the shelf.
Yeah, no, we went over that. It was a car accident. Some people got hit by a drunk driver, so they gave him a new heart. They had a new heart, and they were like, let's give this it just seems very, all right, guys, we've been in the classroom talking about this. Theoretically, we think it's possible. Lewis, are you down? Lewis was like, all right, I'll try it. I don't know.
Well, but like his alternative, I'm sure was he was going to die pretty soon.
Wouldn't you rather die? Wouldn't you rather just die? Or do you want to be the guinea pig that goes through the 18 days of unknown experiences that no one has ever experienced on the face of the earth before when they stick somebody else's heart into your body? I think I would
be on the side of I would try it.
Yeah? You're going to go for it?
Well, I mean, because...
Evil Knievel of medical procedures?
There at least then is some hope. You know, I think if you live with hope, it's a lot more fun than living with doom.
So a fleeting moment of hope and then 18 days of what I imagine was immeasurable pain and suffering.
Well, when you say a fleeting moment of hope, I mean, he was still hoping on day 17 he'd turn things around.
Was he? I don't know.
If he was conscious.
Yeah, was he even conscious? Or was he just like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I'd go for it. On this day in 1988, this was a big one. You know what? It doesn't happen anymore. None of these are recent, but just about every day when I go through this day in history, there is a plane crash. At some point in history, planes used to crash all the time. They don't crash. And what I mean planes, look, every day in America, some idiot in a 2-seater Cessna, crashes somewhere. That's not rare. We're talking about the plane rides that affect us. Major commercial airline travel. That used to happen all the time. I bet you every day of the year throughout history.
No.
Yeah, dude. Every single day.
I don't know. I bet you Google how many major airline plane crashes there are. There've been, I would bet there's less than 200.
No way, dude. I look at this every day and there's
major. I'm saying like 100 passenger.
Here's what we get: commercial airline, because we're talking about people pass air travel, like where you and I might buy a ticket and get on a plane.
Yeah, like I'm calling a major plane. It's got to be over 100 seats.
Okay, hold on. All right, let's see. Let's ask. How many commercial airline crashes have there been in history? All right, let's see here. Oh my God. How many did you say?
Less than 200.
1,918 involving jet airliners of commercial variety, killing 29,000 people. I'm telling you, man.
Well, okay, yeah, but I still don't think that when you say commercial airline, I mean, you could be taking like a puddle jumper,
Okay, but still, I'm talking about the risk.
you
Okay,
know.
but I'm qualifying this as risk to the general public, not a military crash, not a cargo crash. I'm talking about a plane where we need to get to grandma's house. So we're going to buy a ticket. They're going to sell us a ticket and promise to deliver us safely.
I mean,
and
there
then they
alone,
don't.
the average is 29 people per plane, roughly.
Dude, I'm just
Well,
telling you.
if you say there's 1,000 planes that have crashed and 29,000 people died, that's 29 people per plane. That's a small plane.
Here, let's do it like this. Let's see, because I won't do these every day. All right, let's start with tomorrow, because there was a big one today. All right, there was a big one today. There was a number of notable ones yesterday, but they all happened in like dude, in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, planes crashed every day. I am telling you,
Well, you weren't alive then.
No, I know, but I'm telling you that my initial jumping off point for this conversation was I don't like to talk about these, but geez, every single day it seems like there was another airplane crash in history. That was my
But
whole
like,
point.
how many do you think there have been in your lifetime?
Well, that is also my point. Since 2000, not a whole lot. We have not had a whole lot. Now, there were a number in the 70s and then less in the 80s. I mean, we've gotten much better at it for sure. But I'm just saying, like, if you were flying around regularly in the 50s, there's a good chance you were going to die in a plane crash because those things went
I
down
don't
all
know.
the time.
I was born in 63. I'm saying from time I can remember, less than 200. Big
All right,
ones.
here we go. Tomorrow. In 1996, the Airborne Express Flight 827 crashes near Narrows, Virginia, killing 16 people on board. All right, that's tomorrow, and that was recently in 1996. You know, I don't need to go through. All I can tell you is that there seems to be one every day. And so, what's the one today, Pugs? That's the one everybody wants to know. Man, on this day, and I remember where I was when this happened. I was laying on the couch at my girlfriend's house, and we were laying there, and she was watching General Hospital or something. Remember when girls used to watch soap operas in the middle of the afternoon? This was what year would this have been? This would have been, so I would have been just out of high school. I would have been a freshman in college. A bomb explodes on board Pan Am Flight 103 over Lockerbie, Scotland. Remember that? That was the one that ultimately led to the end of Gaddafi. Like
I was going to say Gaddafi did that, didn't he?
Yeah. Gaddafi, Libyan terrorist, at the behest of Muammar Gaddafi, blew up this plane, killing over a town. Here's why that was so horrifying. You want to blow up a plane? Okay, you're a son of a bitch, and you're going to go rot in hell for all of eternity. But man, do it over water if you can. This happened over a town. It rained, the plane and the bodies rained down on this small Scottish town. They were pulling bodies off roofs and they were crashing through homes. Oh my God. What a horror show Lockerbie was.
Yeah, I remember that was an ugly one. The one that I still don't know have they ever found that plane that just kind of up and disappeared like 3 or 4 years ago now?
Oh, you're talking about the Malaysian plane?
Yeah.
Was it Malaysian or was it?
I thought it was one of those either Singapore or something.
Indonesian. Yeah, it was Malaysian. Yeah. The missing, remember? It took off and then it disappeared. And in CNN, this was pre-Trump, before CNN had something else to occupy their time. CNN every single day for like a year.
Right. And they got out like that high surveillance kind of bottom mapping, naval vessel.
Hold on.
Yeah, Flight 370. That was what it is. Did they ever turn that one up?
Malaysian Airlines Flight 370. My.
Remember, that was like every day. Like they would be out searching
Oh, yeah.
searching.
Yeah. That's why that flight, when that plane did that, when that Malaysian plane went missing, for the first day or two, it was like, yeah, okay, so it crashed in a remote place and they're not going to find it. But then as that thing went on and they had no idea where it could be, that made me question everything that I had taken for granted about. Like, people, oh, it's satellites. They know where you are any moment of your life. People would tell you that.
Right, and then they had the black box with the transponder that
That's
even if it did go down, you would still be able to get the signal.
But not just that, just you, random E the artist. Oh, if they wanted to find you, they got you chipped. They got, all of these we just had these expectations that something like this could not happen. A commercial plane filled with people just vanishing and going down somewhere and everybody going for a year or so. It's like that was so unfathomable to me. That was such a lie. That was such a shot to what I believed to be the truth of the world. Like you're telling me an airline plane isn't constantly being tracked by satellites? Constantly? You know what I mean? Like they don't know.
Or on somebody's radar.
Somebody's like, you don't know where every airplane that's in the air, you don't know where it is at all times. And it turns out, yeah, no, not really. No, they just, sometimes we lose them for a while. For a while, this plane has never been found. We don't know. Aliens. Gotta be. Hold on. Let's see this though. That's a good question. When did this happen? How long ago? It was a scheduled international passenger flight operated by Malaysian Airlines. Disappeared on March 8th, 2014 from Kuala Lumpur. Its planned destination was Beijing. The crew of the 70 last communicated with air traffic control around 38 minutes after takeoff when the flight was over the South China Sea. The aircraft was lost from radar screens minutes later, but was tracked by military radar for another hour. Don't you remember that thing? Like it went off radar, but then it kept flying.
Right.
And they're like, why did it turn around? Why is it going
Why
that
did it
way
make
now?
that? It made like a weird banking turn that nobody understood. Almost like acted like they had terrorists that had taken it, is what they thought.
Yeah, they thought everything because
Right.
there was no, everybody was just spitballing ideas. The search for the missing plane, which became one of the most expensive or the most expensive in aviation history, focused initially on the South China Sea and Andaman Sea. Have you ever heard of the Andaman Sea? I have never
Nope.
heard of the Andaman Sea. So you learned something new today. Before analysts of the aircraft's automated communications with an Inmarsat satellite indicated a possible crash site somewhere in the southern Indian Ocean. The lack of official information in the days immediately after the disappearance prompted fierce criticism from the Chinese public, particularly from relatives of the passengers, as most people on board the flight were of Chinese origin. Several pieces of marine debris confirmed to be from the aircraft washed ashore in the western Indian Ocean during 2015 and 2016. So, like years later, they're like, oh, this must be from relying mostly on analysis. Let's see what the conclusion is.
Well, that goes then to it's somewhere at the bottom of the ocean.
See, marine debris investigation analysis, possible in-flight event, unresponsive hypoxia. So that was the one that I remember. They thought that somehow the crew in the cabin had somehow been rendered unconscious through, I don't know what, carbon dioxide. I don't know. You know what I mean though? Like it's somehow they all fell asleep and that's why the plane just kind of cruised
But if you
around on
find
its own.
debris, then don't you got to believe it's in the ocean somewhere?
I don't know. Yeah. Aftermath criticism. No, I don't care about that.
I mean, aliens aren't taking it and throwing parts back to Earth.
There does not seem to be. There's like I don't know. They don't know. Underwater, maybe. Reported sightings. Presumed loss. I don't know.
I don't know. A commercial plane, though, those people like, I don't know, like, what, they open their window up?
I have no idea. That one sucks, man. You know what? Now I need to see a documentary on that. Now I think tonight or at some point in the next couple of days, I need to refresh my memory on this one because that one really bothered me. It freaked me out a little bit. I was like, how can a plane filled with people just disappear like that? Doesn't seem like in the year, what was it, 2014? Doesn't seem like that should have been happening. I don't know, man. We don't know anything. We think we know everything. Oh, you commit a murder. They got DNA. They can link anybody to. I don't know if that's true anymore because of this. I used to think that a plane couldn't just disappear and never be found, but I was wrong about that. You know? I mean, what are we supposed to believe in now? We don't believe in science. We don't believe in all of the things that gave us comfort. Most notably in this conversation, the fact that we could get on a plane, fly anywhere in the world, and they would know where we are at all times. Nope. Sometimes.
At least not in that part of the country.
It's China, though. They got their shit together in this area. China is,
but they have theirs together. They don't share together.
I don't know. I think Malaysia's probably got their shit together. All right, how about a couple of birthdays? We'll celebrate some birthdays. Born on this day, disgraced former college football legend Joe Paterno was born on this day in 1926, died in 2012.
Wow, that's been a while. It seemed like he had died not that long ago.
It's going to be 10 years. It's going to be 10 years that Paterno died. That means we're getting old. Because to me, too, I thought 2012. Didn't he just die like last year? Didn't he just... And where's the Sandusky guy? Is that guy in prison? Or is he dead?
Jerry Sandusky?
Yeah.
I think he's... I don't know. I think he's still alive.
Let's see what's happening with Jerry Sandusky.
Hopefully, if he is alive, he's still in prison.
Jerry Sandusky. All right, let's see if he's still alive. He's still alive. Yeah, he's old, but he's still alive. He's 77 years old. He's in prison. All right, good. You stay there, creeper. For those of you who don't remember, Jerry Sandusky molested a whole bunch of kids. He was an assistant coach under Joe Paterno for like decades. It was like his right-hand guy. You know, like all these coaches have their right-hand guy. Now, let me ask you something. You're my right-hand guy. I'd like to think of myself in some respects as your right-hand guy. Don't you think you would know if I was molesting little kids for decades? I mean, I would think that I would know if you were.
Yeah, probably see little kids leaving your house or coming into your back house.
And he had that like charity, like Jerry's Kids, not to be confused with Jerry Lewis's Kids, but where he used to always bring like kids. Come on, you had to know something, right?
Yeah, there were a number of complaints. That's why he got in trouble. Yeah. Paterno got in trouble because there were like a number of complaints that he had kind of swept under the rug.
Yeah, he just did the Jim Jordan thing, the Congressman Jim Jordan thing, where he was told of stuff that was happening and he just went, how's this going to affect recruiting? And just ignored it so that other kids could get molested. That's why I say disgraced former college football legend Joe Paterno was born on this day in 1926. Born on this day in 1935, John G. Avildsen, American film director. Do you know who John G. Avildsen had? He would have a much better resume if he hadn't made one of the great mistakes in film directing history. Of course, he's famous for, he made a bunch of cool movies in the early 70s, but most notably Rocky. He was the director of Rocky, which really put him on the map as like one of the top guys. He went on to do like all the Karate Kid movies and a couple other Rocky movies. But in 1977, here's a fun story about John G. Avildsen, one of the biggest mistakes of his career. In 1977, coming off of Rocky, he was the hottest director in Hollywood. And this guy, Robert Stigwood, came to him and said, hey, I got your next project. It's, here's what we're going to do. We think it's going to be big. We're only going to pay you this little flat rate, and you're going to get what they call in Hollywood back-end money. So should this movie become a really big movie, you're going to make more money than any film director has ever made. And he was like, okay, sounds good. And he signs on to direct this little independent disco movie called Saturday Night Fever. And he gets about halfway through the movie and he goes, this movie sucks. I want nothing to do with it. Forget about my back end deal. I'm walking. And he walked off after having completed half of Saturday Night Fever. He walked away from the project and another director came in, and Saturday Night Fever became the biggest movie of the year. It would have made him, the estimate that I saw in 1977 money, $250 million he could have made from this in 1977 money.
Wow.
Think about that. Happy birthday.
I wonder what the new director
Abelson
got signed for.
Yeah, who was the new director? Was somebody too? Was somebody that turned into? I mean, he was. Well, let me see.
And he like had half the job done.
Director. Go ahead. Yeah, you can talk.
No, I'm saying he picked up where the guy had done half the work. So I wonder if he got like half the back end, or they just chiseled him out of the back end. Well, you don't really know it's going to be big before.
I think that the guy they brought in to do the mop up work was sort of like, did it as like he got like
by the hour.
Yeah, it was like unknown. And he was like, look, man, here's an opportunity for you. You just want to come in and take over this film. It was the Rocky guy. You'll be the guy that replaced the Rocky guy. And he was probably like, well, that might be good for my career. So he came in. That was John Badham. John Badham replaced John Avildsen. John Badham actually went on to do Blue Thunder, Dracula, War Games was a big one, Short Circuit, and Stakeout. So he had some movies. He was a working, successful director. But yeah, I don't think he got the Avildsen deal. I don't think, because John Badham wasn't coming off Rocky. You know what I mean? Like Avildsen was coming off a movie that made him the hottest director in Hollywood. So he probably cut a deal that, a regular guy couldn't have gotten. Geez, to walk away from that because of ego, man. I'm telling you, ego has ruined more. And the story is, and I know this because I just started watching, or not started watching, but I watched last week on HBO Max. What's it called? Mr. Saturday Night. It's a documentary that Bill Simons, or is it Simmons? I don't know. Great sports podcaster and stuff. He's got to deal with HBO Max to make all of these cool documentaries under the branding of Music Box. So if you go on HBO Max, you'll see a whole bunch of Music Box documentaries, and they're full 2-hour movies. They're really good. Mr. Saturday Night was the one that I watched, and it was the story of Robert Stigwood, the guy who did I talk to you about him when I was talking about Robert Stigwood a couple of days ago, or was that when you weren't here?
I think I wasn't here.
This guy managed the Who. He briefly managed the Beatles after Brian Epstein died. He managed the Who. He managed the Bee Gees. He produced and brought to the stage and screen Jesus Christ Superstar, Hair, Tommy. I mean, this guy was just printing money with the musical theater crap that he was bringing to life. And then he signed the Bee Gees, and the Bee Gees had been, moderately successful in the 60s in England and stuff. And he said, we need to do something new. And he convinced the Bee Gees to do these new disco songs. And well, he had Saturday Night Fever. He had the movie Saturday Night Fever. He had the Bee Gees. I mean, just think how big the Bee Gees were between like 1976 and 85. I mean, was there a bigger band in the world?
No, I don't think so.
Freaking Bee Gees. So yeah, the Music Box. If you're interested in any of this, Avildsen walking away from all that, you can find that information on Music Box, Mr. Saturday Night, the Robert Stigwood story on HBO Max. I'm telling you, man, right time, right moment. That guy. First of all, if you were just the producer of Jesus Christ Superstar in 1970, think of how you're living. That's it. That's all you did. You just produced. You took that from nothing and you turned it into what it became. Think about the money that you're making from that alone.
Yeah.
That's FU money. That is FU money. Then you follow that up with, you talk to your boys in the Who, and you take their album Tommy and you go, I think this could be a stage play in a movie. And then you're responsible for that. And then disco. You got in. Robert Stigwood was printing money. RS, for those of you old enough, you may remember RSO Records. It was like one of the big record labels back in the 70s and 80s, and that was Robert Stigwood organization. All right, what else happened today? So the Lockerbie, Joe Paterno, we're talking about birthdays. John Avildsen, 1935, born today. Phil Donahue. God, did I love it. Don't you think the world right now, the world of discourse, the world of people sitting around talking about things, don't you think we could use a few Phil Donahues out there today?
Yeah, I like this show.
But his demeanor, that was a guy who you could totally disagree with, but he was respectful. He was funny. He totally proved that two people, well, I mean, he did go after Nazis once. I remember him getting upset. There's a viral clip of the one time Phil Donahue got upset. It was when he was talking to Nazis. But what a nice man that dude was. He's still alive. Phil Donahue, 1935, born today. 1937, born today, Jane Fonda. And if you're a man of a certain age, you hate her guts. And if you're a man of another certain age, you really don't understand why. Everybody hates Jane Fonda.
I think everybody knows she turned commie at one point.
At 21 years old, when she was a young kid. She's had like a 50, 60-year career since then, where she's pretty much been a capitalist. I mean, the Jane Fonda workout tapes, all of that stuff. Yeah, she did. But here's the other thing about Jane Fonda.
I remember my grandfather, he hated her.
Yeah, men of a certain age.
Like the older generation, they were like, she's a commie bitch.
Yeah, she was canceled. She was like one of the early cancellations. Cancellations. I don't think cancelization is a word. But I mean, she has apologized endlessly. And at what point do you go, well, she was just an entitled, rich little Hollywood 21-year-old. Can't you, when the 45-year-old version of that says, you know what, I was really silly when I was a kid. Don't you kind of go, yeah, I was really silly when I was 21 too. I mean, okay, let's start up. But no, like there are still men. God damn that Jane Fonda.
I think it was because she was hot and then she turned commie.
Yes. Oh, what a shell game she turned into, huh?
Right? Yeah. Like she just
she really was hot. And let me tell you something about Jane Fonda. I have seen her recently. She still looks amazing. Jane Fonda's 37. So 84. She's like, what would that be? 3, 4, 8, almost 85. Yeah, Jeff wants to know, was this your anti-communist grandpa who took you to Cuba? Good point, Jeff. He was communist to the point where it infringed upon his fishing. Then he was fine with communism.
That's a good one. Very funny.
Also born on this day, Frank Zappa. Frank Zappa, American singer, songwriter, guitarist, producer, raconteur, man about town. Frank Zappa was born on this day in 1940. He died in 1993. Died young of cancer. That was
left us a bunch of weirdly named kids.
Moon Unit, Dweezil. I know there's another one. There's another one too. Another, but like Dingo. Yeah, there's like
something. Yeah,
something. I have been involved in radio shows where Frank Zappa was a regular back before he died. He was a regular on Kevin Matthews' show. They were friends, and Frank would come on and not on the phone, and he would just talk about whatever. Frank had a lot of opinions on a lot of things. Frank was a genius. There was, you talk about him musically, you talk about him mathematically, you talk about all of the Frank Zappa. You look at his bio, you watch a documentary on Frank Zappa, and you're like, holy shit. That guy was like one of the smartest people who ever lived. He just turned into, he turned it all into music and art and creating and all that kind of stuff. But here's the thing about Frank Zappa. Having said all of that, I don't get him. I have heard his music. It isn't good to my ears. It's very weird. It's experimental.
Always was a little bit weird and experimental. I think that was a good way of explaining it.
Yeah, I make no distinction between the records Frank Zappa put out and the records Yoko Ono put out. They are both just incredibly bizarre, screeching. Look, Frank Zappa surrounded himself for years and years with the greatest musicians in Hollywood. So his music was tight, it wasn't sloppy or anything like that, but Where are the hooks, baby? Give me some melody. Give me something to sing along with. Give me something to remember.
Yeah, I mean, not that I'm a music expert by any stretch, but I'd be hard pressed to come up with a lyric in a Frank Zappa
Man,
record.
honestly, my favorite Frank Zappa song is the one that he wrote for his daughter Moon Unit, Valley Girl. That was the only Frank Zappa song. Valley Girl, she's a Valley Girl. Okay, fine, for sure, for sure. You remember that song? It was like a novelty hit in the 80s.
I was going to say, it doesn't sound very deep.
No, well, he wrote it for his like teenage daughter, Moon Unit. That's how we all know who Moon Unit is, because she had a hit song for one rotation, but he wrote it. Yeah. All right. Happy birthday, Frank Zappa. You're a genius. Your mind is unrivaled by your contemporaries. Wonderful contributions to something you've made. I'm just not someone who gets it, but it doesn't mean that I don't accept it. So good for you. Happy birthday, the late, great Frank Zappa. Born on this day, and it's still alive, still very much alive. This will be the final birthday that we'll get into today. Like I said, there's not a whole lot of stuff trending, so, happy birthday, Sam Jackson. Huh? Sam L. Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson. Born on this day in 1948. So 73?
Yeah, he's got a commercial out right now.
Yeah, right. And, I didn't get it. We were watching the football game yesterday. And James Parker had to explain the commercial to me, because I'm watching this commercial with Sam Jackson, who's dressed like an elf.
And John Travolta, like Santa.
Didn't know that was John Travolta. I was trying to figure out why Sam Jackson was talking to Santa that way. And then James goes, it's a Pulp Fiction riff. And I looked at Santa and I go, oh, that's John Travolta. He goes, yeah. And I go, oh, okay. All right, now I get it.
You didn't figure out that was... No? Really?
I was a little slow. It was a rough game for me. Samuel L. Jackson draft. All right, here you go. With my first pick in the first round of the Samuel L. Jackson film draft, I'm going to be taking Pulp Fiction, the character of Jules. Jules, his most iconic character, I believe the character that made Samuel L. Jackson. That's the movie where he drops all the F-bombs, so that in every future movie he has to drop F-bombs. That's kind of his thing. Sam Jackson dropping F-bombs. Pulp Fiction in the first round with the first pick. In the second round of the Samuel L. Jackson film draft, I will be taking Unbreakable, where he plays Mr. Glass.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Did you? Oh, so Unbreakable, M. Night Shyamalan superhero movie. That was unlike any, for years, until the Avengers started cranking out really crazy good superhero movies. I used to say, and it used to piss off comic book dudes so much, I used to say Unbreakable is the best superhero movie. Well, it's not even a superhero movie. Of course it is. What? Because they don't have stupid frilly costumes and, they're wearing, of course they're super.
He got a cool, like, purple suit on in it.
Yeah. Mr. Glass. The premise of Unbreakable was that Bruce Willis played a guy who was a security guard, and he lived his entire life never having been hurt, never getting sick, never being unbreakable, essentially. And then he's like, 50 years old or 40 years old, whatever he was at the time. And he suddenly realizes, hey, this is actually a superpower. I can't die. I can't be shot. I can't be killed. And so the Unbreakable, who is Bruce Willis, he crosses paths with the very breakable Samuel L. Jackson as Mr. Glass, a man who has spent his entire life, he sits down, he breaks his pelvis. It's like this whole terrible opposite kind of thing. And of course, the breakable guy, Mr. Glass, becomes the bad guy. And it's a really, I love M. Night Shyamalan. I know that he takes a lot of crap from people like, well, I don't know, man. Every movie I've ever seen that he's made has been pretty good. It's and not just The Sixth Sense, like The Village. I love The Village. I love The Happening, which I think is him as well, which people, The Happening was stupid. No, it wasn't. The Happening was cool. The Happening where everybody just starts killing themselves and nobody can understand why everybody's killing themselves. It's good. All right. Number 3 in my Samuel L. Jackson film draft, I'm going to go with Captain Marvel, where he plays Luke Cage. Now, I could have picked any of the Avenger Marvel movies, but in Captain Marvel, Luke Cage actually is the co-star. So Samuel L. Jackson actually has the big, and it's the origin story of Luke Cage. He has his eye in Captain Marvel. He loses his eye in Captain, because he wears a patch in all the movies. In Captain Marvel, he actually has his eye, and then we see how he loses it. So that's going to be my 3rd round pick. My 4th round pick, I'm going to go with Star Wars Mace Windu, because that was cool when all of a sudden Samuel L. Jackson is one of the Jedi. He's on the Jedi Council playing the very powerful Mace Windu, sitting right next to Yoda, making all the big, heavy decisions. And then number 5, my 5th round pick for my Samuel L. Jackson draft. Have you ever seen a movie called Black Snake Moan? Who did I say? Nick Fury? Do I have it wrong? I don't know, man. I'm a little bit scattered today. I got a kid in the other room. I got a whole bunch of stuff I got to do after the show. Did I say it wrong? Who did he play in Captain Marvel? Did I say Nick Cage? Possibly I said Nick Cage. Nick Fury? Wasn't that his name? What was his name? No, I got to find out. There's a Luke Cage. Let's see here. I know it's controversial that I didn't pick Django Unchained in my draft, but, what are you going to do? Where's the filmography list of Samuel L. Jackson performances? Nick Fury. Yeah, isn't that his name? Isn't that his name in who did I say? I don't know. I'm scattered.
I thought you said Nick Fury.
I thought so too, but then someone in the chat room put a question mark next to it like I said it wrong. Oh, let's see. Snakes on a Plane. Yeah, I didn't do that one. Yeah, Nick Fury. Furry? Did I say? I don't know. I don't care. I'm not going to get distracted. Black Snake Moan. Have you ever seen Black Snake Moan?
I have not.
Ricci. Oh, it's the scariest Samuel L. Jackson has ever been. He plays this like sharecropper dude who lives out in the middle of the woods in like a shack, and he abducts Christina Ricci, and he chains her up, and he just abuses her. He's just a monster. It is black. You said Luke Cage, Pugs. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, Luke Cage. Where did Luke Cage come from? That's another Marvel thing. All right, thank you guys. That's why I was confused. Nick Fury is who he plays, of course.
So Black Snake Fury or Black Snake Moan.
Black Snake Moan. He looks so creepy, scary here. Let's show you a picture of him. This is his craziest role. Hold on. All right. Yeah, this is the one, man. Okay. I saw this dude on the poster and I said, I got to see that movie. If Sam Jackson is playing that guy, I definitely got to see that.
Is it like a Candyman?
No, look at him.
Oh, my.
Oh, my is right. He was scary. Yeah, JD, it is vastly underrated film. Not a lot of people saw it because of the brutality and how awful it was. But yeah, that dude captures little young Christina Ricci and basically does all of the horrible things that you would fear if your daughter Christina Ricci went missing. And that guy had her. She's all chained up. It's not a Christmas movie to be sure, but it makes number 5 on my Samuel L. Jackson draft. Number 1, Pulp Fiction. Number 2, Unbreakable. Number 3, Captain Marvel. Number 4, Star Wars. And number 5, Black Snake Moan. Ray Romano is also born on this day. Happy birthday to Ray Romano. Everybody loves Raymond. It's another guy who left the stand-up stages after like 20 years and just cashed in big. All right, a lot of days today. National Day of. It's National Flashlight Day. I don't know what that means.
Means that you should have a flashlight on you.
It can't be that. It's got to be something else.
What do you mean?
Look, I doubted you. You're exactly right. Today is the day when everybody is supposed to check the batteries in their flashlights to make sure that their flashlights are working. Look at you. Look at you.
I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory.
It's also Yule Day. I don't know what a Yule is. It's a Christmas thing. What
Yule
is it?
tidings.
Yule log, right? Isn't it a Yule log? Isn't that what it's? I don't know what that's about. The 21st. Today is the winter solstice here in the. That's trending. So
is today the shortest day of the year?
Today is the kickoff.
Shortest sunlight. shortest amount of sunlight today?
Today is the shortest day, and day constitutes when the sun is out. Today is the shortest day of the year, and it kicks off the beginning of astronomical winter. So it is officially winter now, but also it kicks off summer in the southern hemisphere. So they're starting to have their summer down there, and they're going to have the longest day of sun. The winter solstice. Stonehenge. Big things were going on at Stonehenge today. They do that every year. The winter solstice is like a big day at Stonehenge. I don't know what that's about. You know, when I was in London, there was like an opportunity that we were going to go to Stonehenge, and then it kind of explained to me what it was all about. And I'm like, all right, so let me get this straight. I'm in London. It's over Christmas. Town is bustling. This is awesome. It would be just like the greatest day imaginable to just bum around, just explore.
To go from tavern to tavern.
Yes, exactly. Go to Harrods, see the big shopping experience and all that. Trafalgar Square, maybe try and get some tickets to a show that night. We can go to a tavern, have a pint, and then continue on our way. We can do all kinds of things. We'll check out the Buckingham Palace, changing of the guard. We'll do all the fun stuff. Or you can ride in a bus for 4 hours to go out in the middle of a field and look at some old rocks
that they put up in some weird order.
Yeah. I was like, I don't want to do that. I really don't want to do that. And the person I was with was like, really? You don't think that'd be fun? I go, no, that sounds awful. There's 4 hours there, 4 hours, or however, it was a long ride. And then it's just, we could go to Harrods. We could go have lunch at Harrods and we could people watch. Wouldn't that be more fun? Nothing's going to happen. They're going to drop us in a field and there's a bunch of rocks there. We can just look at that on the internet. It was like, why do we need to go there? But people do. And they're having a big shindig out there at
I guess you need to take it in person so you can wonder and amaze yourself as to how did they get these rocks here and why did they do that?
Aliens. Everything is explained by aliens. That is my default setting on all of these things. The pyramids, aliens. Sasquatch, aliens. Loch Ness Monster, aliens. Stonehenge, aliens. Just my Malaysian disappearing aircraft, aliens. Just aliens. And I sit well with that. I don't need to question it any further. I can move on to something else. Like having a nice.
Have you ever been to Arizona?
I have, yeah.
Okay, and there when you go out in the desert area, you see all these boulders.
Just rocks, yeah.
But don't you go, how did that rock get there?
Erosion.
But it seems like it's erosion in some instances, but other instances it's like it just rolled down and kind of stopped there, like your golf ball.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's one way to look at it. I just think it's been there for 1 billion years. And, after 1 billion years, things happen. So,
and I'm always looking and going, wow, how long till that thing starts rolling again? If it gets windy.
You just said like a boulder. Have you ever been up in Santa Fe and stuff or seen the rock formations and stuff? Like there are literally things that used to be just giant rocks that now actually have shapes and curvatures and holes in them, and it's like how
there's the boulders I think that's what it's called in Phoenix or not Phoenix in Arizona, and yeah, you go there and you look at these weird rocks that are in weird spots and you wonder how'd they get there.
Yeah, no idea. All right, so that's the winter solstice. It's Phileas Fogg Win a Wager Day. No idea what that is. Not going to waste our time. It is National Maine Day. It is the national day of the state of Maine. So, have you ever met anyone from Maine? Oh, maybe you have because you're from Buffalo. So
long time ago.
I don't believe Maine is real. I've never met anyone who's been to Maine, and I don't know.
Yeah, they got lobster. Lots of lobsters.
Yeah, that's what they tell you. I don't know. It's National French Fried Shrimp Day. A lot of days today. They're cramming in a lot here at the end of the year.
Fried shrimp.
So go get you some French fried shrimp day. Oh,
is that like tempura, shrimp tempura?
I guess. Hey, I was thinking, maybe I have to whisper this. So, is that new Chicago style pizza place open yet? You know, the one on
Yeah,
Hillside?
DL Max.
Is it?
I drove by it the other day.
Have you been there yet?
I have not. I
No.
want to try it.
Yeah. Any interest? Maybe tonight. I was thinking about surprising the kid because he's been locked up, and
Yeah, maybe we could do that for sure.
Okay, we'll talk about that later. But I thought today would be a good day for that. I don't get to take him out to dinner very much, so let's see. All right, Humbug Day. No idea what Humbug Day is. I don't.
It sounds like something to do with this time of year.
Yes, it does.
Scrooge.
Let's see. Let's see what Humbug Day is all about. Humbug Day on December 21st recognizes the Ebenezers, the Scrooges, the Grinches, and the Curmudgeons who suck the joy out of the holiday season. Well, why the hell would we want to do that? So screw Humbug Day. That's exactly what it is. It's Crossword Puzzle Day. Do you do crossword puzzles?
Don't.
Oh, man. I used to do crossword puzzles all the time when I was a teenager. My grandpa used to do them. He had.
Would he do the ones in the paper?
Yeah. Oh, my grandpa was a crossword puzzle fanatic. You would go, before we had phones, you're an old man. You're going to go to the toilet for a while. You got to bring something. He would bring his pen and his scratch paper and his little crossword puzzle. And it was crazy too, because there was no spell check back then. Like, you didn't know if you were spelling the words right. So you would write it down on scratch paper to look at it, to see if it looked right, to see if it would fit. So I used to do crossword puzzles with him all the time. And it was good. I mean, it was good brain training. It makes you think about things, and it makes you learn things. But it's so much easier now with Wikipedia and Google and, all of the clues. You can just say the clue into Google, and Google's going to have some suggestions for you. So the people who were good at crossword puzzles in the 70s and 80s, they're the real champs. These people today, I give no credit to the people who are good at crossword puzzles. There's too many ways to cheat, too many ways to figure out exactly what you're looking for. My point is, haven't done a crossword puzzle in probably 30 years since my grandpa.
Didn't they used to put one almost every day in the paper?
Every day in the newspaper. Yeah. And the reason that it is Crossword Puzzle Day is today, because today, in what year? The very first crossword puzzle appeared in a newspaper in New York. It doesn't say. It doesn't say what year. All right. It was a New York newspaper, back in 1890 or something. They go way back.
And you think about putting it in the newspaper, at first you're like, why would anybody do this? And then you're like, oh, because they'll hold on to the newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
And so then you wanted to be on the crossword puzzle page because you had ad retention.
Yeah.
And
staring at it. I bet you those ads on that page was probably more expensive than.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. God, think about how limited your options were. Think of how miserable if you were to take your son and my son and drop them back into 1978 and say, all right, here's a living room. That's a TV. Have fun. Just see what they would get.
Yeah, I remember you would run. Yeah, you would run out in the morning to get the paper in order to figure out what the sports scores were from the games that went off late at night, on the West Coast.
Right.
Yeah. There was no internet, there was nothing. You would have to go to the newspaper to look to see, okay, did the Lakers win last night? What was the score of XYZ football game that went late into the evening? You just didn't know.
No. And if it was a late Monday night game, it wouldn't be in the next day's paper. Because
they printed before it got, you would be like, this is stupid.
You wouldn't know. You just wander around. But even think about our two kids at 12 and 10. Okay, here you go. Go entertain yourselves. You're in the living room. That's a record player. These are records. And that's a TV with 4 channels. Have fun.
And then at a certain time of night, the TV channel would go out and you'd get that test screen.
Yeah.
Start
Talked
making
about that the other day.
Ooh.
after the national anthem. Bum, 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 boo. And then you'd wake up, you fell asleep watching the late night TV shows. You would wake up at 3:00 in the morning with woo on your TV, and you'd be like, oh, gotta turn it off. Yeah, we were barbarians back then. All right, and it's National Homeless Persons Remembrance Day. Boy, it's hard to forget them around here. You go just like 3 steps outside of this neighborhood, and you are just. I took my kid to McDonald's yesterday. We were running around after I picked him up, and McDonald's is always it's that's what you do when you're running around. You're like, when you just grab McDonald's, I don't want to cook anything. Yeah, okay, we'll grab McDonald's. Dude, there was like a meeting of the homeless minds going on out back
on that little side street.
Well, do you know the dead end street? Like when
that's what I call that side street, the dead ends.
What is going on there at that dead end? They've got like a whole fortress set up, and there's people inside a box, and then there's draping, and then there's carts parked all. It looked like a homeless party. It was very depressing while I'm waiting for my 2 Big Macs.
Like there's certain people that we see every day, I guess, when we kind of venture out, like there are local homeless.
Yeah.
Like the guy in the park that's a samurai sword swinger.
That guy. Yeah, you see him all the time. He's like out there doing Tai Chi and stuff, and he's always got weapons and sticks.
He's got a lot of branches, a lot of sticks.
Yeah.
Like I wonder. I just wonder what he does with all that.
How about, have you seen the guy pedaling the bike with the giant Fu Manchu?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so here's what I don't get about him. His Fu Manchu mustache is like super big, and it's super like Phineas Fogg, like that kind of a thing, This like
well taken care of for a homeless guy.
Yes. I don't get that. How much are you spending on like beard trimming and
I don't know. Like the rest of his attire, not so good, but
rags.
He spends, it's awful. Yeah. But the way that he keeps that Fu Manchu together, he's deep into the gel.
It's like the Fu Manchu is a microcosm for all his dreams and aspirations. Like as long as he can keep the Fu Manchu going and looking good, he's got potential. Like that's what he tells himself. Like no matter.
Or it's like that maybe his street cred name. Like he's known in the neighborhood by his. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Hard to tell.
People uncomfortable making fun of them on National Homeless Remembrance Day.
Well, we're not making fun of them. It's
we're just making observations.
Interesting observations and their characters.
Yeah. All right. There's a moment of joy today, but it's not a good one. It's a bird got caught in someone's car, and they're like, "There's a bird in my car." So there you go. There's your moment of joy. Winter solstice. We talked about that. Hey, what's going on, Mace? What? Yeah. No. You know what? I've been snacking on them. They're actually all right. Yeah. People want to know. Just the one bug where Mace has popped into the room. He found a bug in his not great flakes today. Yeah. Just the one bug?
Yeah, I think I saw 2.
You think you saw 2?
Well, there was 2 when I saw.
Okay, that's not going to help us with our lawsuit against Kellogg's. These are fine, though, if you want to snack on them. I'm snacking on. No, the bugs have put you off. Oh, hey, while I have him here, I got my kid here. So let me come here, stand right here. Don't stand in front of the camera, but stand right behind the camera so that people can hear you. I asked this question and I yelled. Were you wearing headphones in the other room?
Yeah.
Okay. What is the deal with K-pop? Can you name a K-pop band?
What do you mean, like a K-pop band?
Like, do girls in your junior high, do they love K-pop?
Yeah.
They really do. And they have posters of K-pop boys in their rooms and stuff like that. Now, do you have any Asian kids in your school?
Yes. My best friend is Asian.
Your best friend is Asian. Yeah. Is he seemingly reaping the benefits of all these women being into Asian guys? He is. He says he is. He's like the hot dude in school. That was not the case when E and I were in school. The Asian guy, you felt bad for him.
They don't even know what his actual Asian race is. Like they all think he's South Korean, which is K-pop is from. He's actually
so he just says he's South Korean. Yeah,
he's Filipino, but he just says he's Korean.
He's Filipino, but he tells all the ladies he's South Korean.
It's like half Asian, right?
I wondered about that. I wondered if, like, young Asian men in America's grade schools, junior highs, and high schools are reaping the benefits of this sudden interest in, because, Asian dudes weren't always known for being the guys that were getting laid, back in high school. They were mathletes, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's good for them. All right. Asian Mason's best friend. I totally forgot about that. His best friend's Filipino. All right, so let's get into some things that are trending. Winter solstice, we talked about that. Jesse Waters is trending. I don't want to go into this, but he got on stage and told people that they should kill Dr. Fauci. So that ain't good. Did you hear about this?
No. He told people they should kill Dr. Fauci.
Host Jesse Waters tells the crowd to go after him in public, harass him. Now you go in with, go after him in public, harass him. Now you go in with the kill shot. All right, so let's
wow,
this whole thing. Yeah,
like
I know.
That guy is living on borrowed time over there.
Who, Jesse Waters or Fauci?
Yeah, he's like he's one scandal away.
You would think, right?
He's one intern mishap away. Like, he seems like the total guy that would get into something with an intern.
The incendiary, dangerous, violent rhetoric against Dr. Fauci continues at America Fest. Fox News host Jesse Waters tells the crowd how to go after him, to harass him in public. Here's the quote. Now you go in for the kill shot. Deadly, because with an ambush, he doesn't see it coming. Well, maybe we should just listen to him. I mean, hey, I'm saying it. I don't want to misrepresent it. I honestly haven't heard this because I just saw it and rolled my eyes and went, oh my God, this guy is what a punchable face this guy is. I mean, this guy just seems,
face.
I don't understand. I have a real, you and I, and I know this because I've been around you enough. We can look at certain people and on startup, we can go, oh, okay, don't trust that guy. That guy just looks like, you know what I mean? Like just like a piece of shit frat boy who's going to do the evil thing in the movie. You know what I mean? Well, that's what this dude looks like. That's what Jesse Waters looks like. He looks like just such a piece of trash, such a jerk, a date rapist. He's got that whole look. All right, let's see here.
I agree.
Let's see what he said. Why not? Let's pull this up. Because again, I don't want to misrepresent it. I'm just going off of what's trending. But people don't see that, E. People don't see it. You know what I mean? Like, people cannot spot a con. Didn't you think more people were capable of spotting a con and being able to tell an asshole? But, who was it? W.C. Fields, P.T. Barnum, sucker born every minute. You could. I refuse to believe that, but it seems like it's so true nowadays. People just fall for the worst people. All right, let's check this out. All right, is it sharing?
It is.
All right, let's see what he says.
Now you're going for the kill shot. The kill shot, with an ambush, deadly, because he doesn't see it coming. This is when you say, Dr. Fauci, you funded risky research at a sloppy Chinese lab, the same lab that sprung this pandemic on the world. You know why people don't trust you, don't you? Boom! He is dead! He is dead!
Okay, so I understand now he is speaking metaphorically. Now, because of social media, those things are not always explained that way. However, the rhetoric that he's using is not cool. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, what he is not doing metaphorically is he's telling people to harass him in public, to go up to him, but he's using verbiage like kill shot, ambush. He doesn't see it coming. I mean,
yeah, he's dancing around it.
Call him dog whistles, call him whatever you want, but what a piece of, that dude is such a piece of shit. And he was Bill O'Reilly's water carrier. He was Bill O'Reilly's little producer.
For sure.
For like years and years.
For years and years and years.
Oh my God.
Like, I always thought, if that guy gets a show on Fox after Bill O'Reilly's gone, how bad has it got to be over there?
He's like one of their big stars too.
No, he is.
All right, so here's another thing. This is from the America Fest thing that's going on here. This is circulating. Let's see. Flag rules is what is. Let me see if I can get this for you. There we go. Okay, flag rules is trending today. Why? Because people are reminding the rest of us what the rules of the American flag are. And this is something nobody understands. My son does. Can you see this picture right here?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so these are a bunch of people, a bunch of flag fetishists. Hold on. Hey, Mace, come here. So I've been teaching my kid this for years.
Now is his moment to shine.
Now is his moment to shine. Exactly. Hold on. Flag rules is trending today. People, all right, come here. Come over here.
What's up?
Okay. Look at this picture, okay? Now, of the things that I have taught you as a young man, look at this picture. What is wrong with this picture right here?
I'm not supposed to wear the American flag.
Thank you. There you go. He said you're not supposed to wear the American flag. Because
Is that all? I think like you're not supposed to write on top of it either.
No. Yeah, yeah, right. You're not supposed to do any of that shit with the American flag. And every time I see these so-called good Americans with their American flags and their American hats and they're eating a chili dog and they're dripping the chili dog sauce all over their American flag shirt, I think you MFers don't know the first thing about the respect we're supposed to have for that flag.
I mean, isn't there something printed like on top of that flag? Or am I just seeing that in the...
Yeah. That's the other thing that's trending. God guns. It says God guns and then something else. So God guns is trending. There are very specific rules about these are the same people who like want to string up individuals who dare to take a knee during the playing of the national anthem, yet they don't know the first thing about how we are not supposed to wear images of the American flag unless you're in the military. And yet walk into any Walmart and there they are bastardizing the American flag. It represents something. It's not supposed to represent you at the 4th of July picnic trying to showboat how American you are. That is disrespectful.
And you're not supposed to put God and guns and a plus sign and 2 guns on top of the actual flag.
I don't know about that. I don't know if those are rules. They seem like they're in bad taste for sure. So I would agree with you on that. But there are specific rules as to how you're supposed to
Well, if you can't let it touch the ground,
flag.
you're supposed to not let it touch the ground.
Here are the flag rules. This is why it's trending right now. The American flag may be displayed on a flagstaff pole for attaching the flag during daylight hours and at night if lights are on it. So if you have your flag up at night and you don't have a spotlight shining on your flag, you are disrespecting the flag. The American
flag to take it down.
Yes. The American flag should be displayed near schools, government buildings, public buildings, and polling or voting places. When flown with other flags, the American flag should have the place of honor either higher than the other flags or to its right. The American flag should be the first flag to be raised and the last flag to be lowered. When displaying in a church or on a stage, the American flag should be displayed in the position of honor, either behind and above the speaker or at the speaker's right as he or she faces the audience. When displayed without a flagstaff, the field of stars of the American flag should be on the upper left. When the American flag is carried at the beginning of a parade, spectators, people watching, should remove hats and stand at attention with the right hand placed over the heart. This salute should be held until the American flag passes. The president or governor may order the American flag to be flown at half-staff, halfway between the top and bottom of the flagpole, to pay respect to someone, usually a government leader who has passed. The American flag is used to cover the casket of a person who has served in the military. It is then removed before the casket is lowered into the grave. Folding the American flag properly is done by two people following strict guidelines used only for the flag of the United States of America. The American flag should not be allowed to touch the ground ever. The American flag should not be displayed during stormy weather unless an all-weather flag is used. The American flag should not be draped to hang over any part of a vehicle, train, or boat. The American flag should not be used as clothing, bedding, drapery, or as hats. The American flag should not be used for decorating or advertising. The American flag should not have
So that falls under the God, guns, and cross right there. That shouldn't be used for decorating or advertising.
Of course
They're
not.
advertising it.
Of course not, but these people don't really have any love, admiration, or respect for the flag. They just simply want to hate people who they view as being disrespectful towards it while they're being disrespectful. Every day you go out in public and you see somebody, American flag belt buckle, American flag bumper sticker. It's just, and it's covered in dirt and it's messy. That is a way, that's exploitation. You're exploiting the symbol of this country. It's not supposed to be something you eat every day. You know, it's like pizza. You're supposed to have it every once in a while and really appreciate it. You're not supposed to have it every single day. When that happens, you forget what it stands for. Every time you see the American flag, you're supposed to have this moment of reverence. And that doesn't happen when every Bubba is walking around with a try and take this flag out of my, you know what I mean, shirt on his chest. It's like, fuck. People just, I learned this in 7th grade, and then I learned it again. And you always had to take the Constitution test or the Americas test, which is, another version. The American flag should not have anything attached to it or printed on it. And lastly, the American flag should not be displayed if it is worn or frayed. It should be disposed of in a respectful manner.
And there we go. Another one. Should not have anything printed on it.
No, exactly. These are all according to the flag uniform code. These are all violations. And these people have no idea because they're just fetishizing their Americanism. Oh, like a bunch of perverts. It's the stupidity and the lack of respect and the inconsistency among these people is absolutely maddening. My son has a bunch of, I think it's Under Armour. He's got an Under Armour shirt and he wasn't going to wear it anymore because it had, the American flag on it. But I pointed out to him, it's not the American flag. It looks like the American flag, but it's not in our colors, and it's got an Under Armour logo. So it's reminiscent of the American flag. But
and it doesn't have the right amount of stripes either, I think.
Exactly. So you can wear that. You can absolutely wear that. That's not disrespect. That is not a full-blown stars and stripes. That is, and Under Armour knows it, and that's why Under Armour made that version. But man, I'm telling you, these colors don't run. Yeah, but lunch did all over the front of your shirt, which is an American flag. So now you got mustard all over the... Ugh, these idiots. All right, we'll get rid of them. Let's see. Ass ham is trending. I have no idea why that's trending. Actually, I do. Some radio station in Tennessee, a little radio station in Tennessee, has a person. I mentioned this just because it shows that maybe radio does still have power. Apparently, there's some dude on the show called Ass Ham, and they had a contest to see if they could get Ass Ham trending. And there it is. It's trending. Michael Vick is trending. Michael Vick is trending. Why? Because Frodo, the last remaining Michael Vick dog, has died. Frodo, one of the 18 dogs, were taken from Michael Vick after he was convicted of dog fighting.
Dick Hunter got one.
Yeah, our friend Dick Hunter got one. Mel, who was a sweet little puppy. Mel died a few years ago, though. Mel passed away. But the final remaining Michael Vick dog, Frodo, has died. And, look at that. Just in time for the reemergence of Michael Vick showing up on television.
Not really just in time. He reemerged a few years ago. See, I always thought that should be the sentence. Like, he should not be allowed on TV until all those dogs passed.
Why do we have Donovan? Why do I need to look at Donovan McNabb during halftime of Thursday Night Football or Michael Vick? Why
Donovan
can't I look
McNabb.
at Donovan McNabb? Why can't I look? Why do we feel we need to bring Michael Vick back?
I don't know. I just thought he came back. Like, I'm all for second chances and stuff. If this is
No.
the second chance, seems like it was a little bit harsh to be doing to a bunch of dogs.
He taught his young children a lesson by grabbing a puppy and snapping its neck in front of them because they were being bad. That MFer shouldn't ever be on television again.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't understand how he got on TV again that quickly.
he's a crazy person. I don't care how you can behave yourself for, 90-second pops on TV. Well, wearing a suit and explaining the breakdown. We know who this man is in his private life, and it is atrocious. It is horrific. This person has it used to be, they say you get away with anything in America except doing it to dogs. You know what I mean? You kill a dog and that's it. You're done. No, apparently not. Or have we all forgotten? I mean, does enough time pass and we all go, oh yeah, what did he do again? He snapped a puppy's neck in front of his 2 toddlers because they wouldn't stop crying. that seems a little counterproductive, right?
Seems like they're going to cry more.
He used to take dogs who were injured and nail them to trees for fun, because that's what Michael Vick does in his spare time. Fun stuff. So he's trending. Frodo has passed away. The last dog that was rescued from the Michael Vick dog fighting stable has passed away. Frodo, you had a nice rest of your life, I guess. Also, the White House got a new dog, Commander. Commander, the puppy, is trending. They got a new puppy at the White House.
What breed?
German Shepherd, named Commander. So good for them. Happy birthday, Capricorn. It's apparently that's trending, Capricorn. I guess if that's your astrological sign, it's your time of year, I suppose. Did you ever know astrological signs? Was that ever that was such a big thing for a certain group of people, like in the 70s?
I didn't have them in memory, but I had a card that had them when I would be like standing outside the bar.
Well, really? So you used to use the astrological pickup?
Well, yeah, like in order to pick them off, if they were faking their ID, they didn't know their astrological sign, they were out.
Oh, standing out of the. I thought you were just creeping outside the bar, and they'd come out and go, "You look like a Sagittarius."
No. I was checking when I was checking ID when they were coming in.
Oh, okay.
And I thought that they were underage or it wasn't their ID. I would go, "What's your astrological sign?" And then when they got big-eyed,
right, they wouldn't know.
They didn't have it. I was like, "No, this ain't gonna work. You're out of here."
You got to do the work if you're going to try and pass a fake ID. You got to know all of these.
I always thought that was a good one.
Yeah,
because like people don't. They're like, "Well, what's he gonna quiz me on?"
Now, a generation that came before us of men, that was like one of the big things. What's your sign? And they'd get into that.
It is the dawning of the age of Aquarius.
That was never that missed my generation. My generation backlashed on that. We were like, no, that's stupid. But apparently it's back. Apparently, like, young kids are again into like astrological stuff. Whatever. Why not? Why not? QAnon's a big thing too. Why not astrology? Who cares? So happy birthday, Capricorn. There's an article in the Wall Street Journal today that has Shohei Ohtani trending. This is an interesting one. The article, the piece written in the Wall Street Journal suggests that everybody needs to stop making comparisons to Shohei Ohtani and Babe Ruth because there is no comparison. Shohei Ohtani is much better than Babe Ruth. And I'm like, wow. Okay.
I mean, probably true.
I mean, a much better athlete.
Yeah, based on the schedule of the major leagues these days versus back then, the amount of time he spent pitching and hitting and fielding.
He's a super athlete.
Yeah.
He really is. I mean, we talked about Bo Jackson yesterday. Shohei Ohtani isn't the same kind of super athlete, but he's a different variation of being a super athlete. To be able to pitch the way he can pitch and to hit and play outfield the way he is without a doubt, in my opinion. And I watch a lot of American League Baseball, as you do too, as a Yankees fan. I mean, he's the best all-around player I've seen in years. You know, I'd have to go back to Ken Griffey used to really impress me, like back in the mid-90s, everything that Griffey could do. But yeah, not since Griffey have I seen a full-rounded player like Shohei Ohtani and been like, where are these Asians coming from? What is happening with this world? He's handsome. He's built like a brick shithouse. Have you ever seen his body?
Yeah, no, that's the thing to me. That's like, I'm like, he is not the typical Asian.
No, maybe he is, but because of we being white people, we were always entertained by this caricature of the Asian. For in any cartoon, Warner Brothers, always a buck-toothed little guy with a bowl haircut. Oh, and that's what we think. And we're wrong.
No, when you see them at the Olympics, they're still somewhat smaller.
I don't know. I watch MMA. I've seen some MMA Asians.
There are some large ones, but I mean, just generally by human, like the whole population, their features and bodies are smaller. I mean, the medical equipment that was designed in Japan, they always had smaller gantries, which is like the cylinder for the MRI. And so a lot of times when they brought that, now again, we're fatter, so maybe our bodies are different, but I would say all in all, Asian people are still smaller. Like, what's the average height of someone in China?
Hold on. First, let's find the average height of America. What is the average height of an American male? 5'10" tall for white males. Why does it say why is that only for white males? Why am I only getting? Why can't we? What the hell's the difference of skin color? Why can't I?
I don't know. I don't know why that makes a difference.
Racist Google. All right, so let's go with 5'10". 5'10" in America. Okay. So now let's see.
What is the average? Well, I guess if they know, maybe you're comparing.
What is the average height of a Chinese person? Male. It's going to give me the average height of a Chinese person.
Chinese male. You got to do male because female is going to be smaller.
Wait. Average height by country. I just found a Wikipedia page came up. Average height by country. So
okay.
This will work. This is even better. All right. Let's see here. Let's go to China. The average height in China is 5'6".
See?
Yeah. Okay. I guess
4 inches.
5 foot. Let's see. What is the tall? What do you think the tallest country is? Sweden.
What's USA?
All right. So 5 foot.
It might be lower though because we got to put the women in there.
Oh no. Okay. China. Wait. Why are there 2 categories for China? Country, region. Yeah, China's got 2 under country and region. One says 5'6" and one says 5'7". I don't know. Yeah, whoever the second China, we'll go with 5'7". Oh, I got it. Okay. All right. 15 plus all, and then 5'7" is the male average. Okay. So let's go to the United States. So 5'7" in China.
It was 5'10" already here.
Well,
this is a different survey.
Yeah, this is a different. So let's see this. 5'10". 5'10". Yep. So yeah, 5'10", 5'9", 5'8" for women. 5'8" for women. Can that be true? Is that women?
That's like model size.
Yeah. We should all be so lucky as to 5'8" be the average height for women. We'd be a super race. I don't know. I think I read that wrong. All right. But there you go. 5'6" in Japan or in China.
So 3 inches. That's a lot.
Yeah. It is. All right. Let's see. What else do we have going on here? Okay. Here's someone who's trending who I don't really understand why she did this. Bette Midler is trending. Now, I happen to be one of the, 40 million people or whatever, she's got a lot of followers, who follow her on Twitter, because Bette Midler, who I'm not exactly a fan of, it's like I don't have any albums. I don't know that I can say I love any Bette Midler movies, she's not really my demo, not really shooting to me. But she is great on Twitter. She is funny. She's like a mean old lady. She just says she's got FU money and she doesn't care about nothing. And she's got opinions on everything. She's a good follow. So if you're on Twitter, you can follow Bette Midler, and every once in a while you'll see something that makes you go, well, all right, you go get him, old lady. You stay frosty. Because she's definitely enjoying her Twitter time. Well, she's not enjoying it today because she got in trouble because she made fun of West Virginia. She called everybody in West Virginia poor, illiterate, and strung out. And so now everybody
I think she's probably going after Joe Manchin, maybe.
Well, I'm sure it has something to do with it, but yeah, she just, what do you expect from people in West Virginia? Everyone is poor, illiterate, and strung out. And so now everybody's like coming after her for that. And she apologized. Bette Midler apologized for her fire tweet, which that's the thing about Twitter. You don't have to apologize. Now, you have to apologize if you work for, ESPN or AB. You know what I mean? Like if there's a parent company who's like, that sucks that you said that. You got to clean this up, get out there. Bette Midler's got the FU money. Bette Midler's like 80 years old. She doesn't care. You know what I mean? What is Bette Midler apologizing for? She doesn't have any masters to please.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like, was she not going to be allowed at church?
Oh, what are you going to do? Make you stop being Bette Midler? Yeah, you're Bette Midler. That's all you do now. You walk around your fabulous Beverly Hills mansion in your moo-moo with your phone, and you just shit tweet at people. You're awesome. I've never liked you, Bette, but I've really enjoyed you the last couple of years because of that incarnation of who you are. Don't apologize. Bette, you don't have to apologize. You're a cool old lady. You're just out there slinging shit. Somebody else, there's another cool old lady who's out there slinging shit on Twitter who I enjoy. I can't think of her. I also follow Ruth Buzzy. Remember Ruth Buzzy? Ruth Buzzy is a funny Twitter follower too. Do you remember Ruth Buzzy? Does that name sound familiar? Oh boy, when I show you Ruth Buzzy, you're gonna be like, oh yeah. Yeah. He was a massive star when we were kids. And now she just lives on a farm in Texas. And she just tweets jokes. Yeah, it was the classic Ruth Buzzy. Here you go. Here's classic Buzzy. All right. But yeah, she tweets jokes. Like she just writes jokes and she tweets them. She's funny. All right. Oh, that didn't work. Can you see it?
I can.
All right, let's see. Come on, you recognize her, right?
I do.
She was like on every TV
show. Like on
Laughing.
Yeah, Laughing is what I remember.
This is look at these here. Look, there she is. She was like a homeless frumpy lady or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. She was like a big star back when John Davidson was a big star. Back when like, there were all these people from the 70s who we grew up with who were Steve and Edie. Remember Steve Lawrence and Edie Gourmet? There was just like this whole group of well, I guess you can say the same thing about today with YouTube stars and Instagram stars. People who you're like, why are they famous again? Why are these people? Why am I paying attention? Why is this guy on the Tonight Show? But Ruth Buzzy's a good follow too. But so is Bette Midler. So enjoy that. Lucille Ball is trending today. You know why? Because the Lucille Ball movie is out today on Amazon Prime. If you've got Amazon Prime, Being the Ricardos, which was one of the more anticipated films of this holiday season. Aaron Sorkin, Nicole Kidman as Lucy, Javier Bardem as Ricky Ricardo or Desi Arnaz. And it's trending because somebody wrote a review of it and said, yeah, they just filmed a Wikipedia page. So somebody gave it a shit review And here we are. But I'm going to watch it. I'll probably watch it tonight. I've been waiting on this one. Any interest? Yeah, so you don't love the old. See, I love this stuff. I love the old Hollywood based on a true story kind of thing. So I'm going to watch it tonight to figure out something to do with my kid. Byron says, outrageous fortune, ruthless people, down and out in Beverly Hills, Hocus Pocus, Beaches. Yeah, those are all Bette Midler movies. And I never saw a damn one. Oh, I did see Beaches. I had a girlfriend who loved Beaches, and somehow, I don't know, I ended up watching Beaches with her like a couple of times. It was all right. If you're look, if you are forced to watch any movie, you can pretty much make the best of it. You know what I mean? Because like there are no, especially if it's like a big box office hit that people went to the theaters and it's got a story. It may not be car chases and buildings exploding, but they're not terrible. If you allow yourself to get into it, you can get into it. I thought Beaches was fairly okay, although, wouldn't have watched it on my own. Okay.
Now that you're watching Sex in the City.
Speaking of, that is our next person who is trending. Chris Noth, Mr. Big, is trending again today. And oh my goodness, what an awful Christmas season it is for Mr. Big. A third woman has now come forward claiming that she was raped and sexually assaulted by Mr. Big. Chris Noth, 60-something-year-old. Yeah, I don't know if you were with us?
He died off early in this series, I guess.
Yes,
in the
very
Netflix
first episode.
one,
and
right?
People are suggesting that the producers of the series knew that these stories were going to come out because the day after it debuted, where episode 1, he dies on a Peloton, the day after Variety published this big expose about these 2 separate girls, one in California, one in New York, who came forward and said that, yeah, he raped me. Like, this isn't just taking no for it. This is rape. This is like pulled their pants down, held them down, and, sodomized them. And now a third woman has come forward, another 20 cocktail waitresses, dude. He's got a thing for cocktail waitresses. And you got to imagine, for a certain generation of woman, if you're walking around as Mr. Big in real life, so he probably thought he could get any woman he wanted for about 15 years. You know what I mean? Like, think about that. Think about your wife and her friends who loved this show. Imagine they're out in a club and Mr. Big, the real Mr. Big, shows up and starts flirting.
What a name.
Well, Chris Noth. Yeah, I know, but that was the code name in the show, right? So imagine one of your wife's friends, and she's single or even not single. It's not like they wouldn't cheat on their boyfriends for a night with Mr. Big at Zaza, And imagine how easy the pickings would be. Not that your wife's from, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, for a certain demographic of woman, he represented the ultimate guy to land.
Yeah, no, he was definitely talked about. Mr. Big.
Not anymore. He is having a rough go of it. So last week, the 2 girls came forward. On Saturday, he was dropped from his agency, his management and all of that said, yep, nope, we're done. He's gone. We fired him. We are no longer representing him. Yesterday, he was dropped from his show, The Equalizer. He's on The Equalizer, which is a CBS show. He was fired from that show yesterday. Today, a third woman has come forward claiming that she was raped by him. And also today, Sarah Jessica Parker and the other 2 ladies that are left, they're breaking bad on them. They put out a public statement. They are not remaining silent. Good for them. So,
well, I mean, I think they almost have to.
You got to.
You have to. The other thing I've been thinking about, and for a while, is, okay, it always seems like if there's 1, then 2, and 3 and 4, and however many of them, they just start coming out of the woodwork, right?
Yeah.
And not doubting these people. I believe that they're real, and this happened to them. There always then seems to be litigation that follows. Like, he's then now going to get sued for millions, or, somebody associated,
civilly. they're going to open up criminal investigations.
Well,
here.
yeah, I mean, there's going to be criminal, but
Mhm.
then there'll also be
Like Weinstein.
civil. They'll be civil, and so then the attorneys will then all of a sudden end up representing all the girls, or I've got 4 of the girls, and somebody else got 3 or 4 of the other girls. I think we should reward monetarily the person that comes out first, more so than number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5.
Because why? There's something to being the bravest, the first through, the one that took the most arrows. Because they do provide cover for people who come after.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And
That's
if you are sitting there and you're like on the fence, well, I don't know, I'm going to wait for somebody else to do it. And what if these guys, nobody does it? You know what I mean? It's like,
well, the first one to come forward happened in 2004. The first 2 were 2004 and 2015.
Right. And so these
9
guys
years apart.
are serial
philanderers
or whatever it is that they're doing. And I get
Predators.
why you don't want to maybe come out first and then you sit there behind the log and wait for the first one. But if nobody comes out, these guys get away with it. And if we maybe put like a bounty for the first one, a higher, you get a higher class of the percentage of money that's taken from these scumbags. I mean, that may stop this sitting and waiting.
Here's the issue, though. The first 2 that came forward to Variety, both came forward within days of each other. They do not know each other. One is in Los Angeles, one is in New York. They work in 2 completely different sectors of the world. And there are instances with him occurred in 2004 and 2015. Why they came forward and contacted Variety was because seeing this new show now pop up in the Me Too era. The Me Too era didn't exist before. A lot of women, it was riskier for women. Now it's risky for anyone accused. Till proven guilty is not really something we all always follow here in recent times. But in 2004, the first victim in Los Angeles, she was working for a publicist. She worked in the entertainment business. He was a huge star in 2004. Sex and the City was a big show. She was 22 years old. She was afraid she would get fired if she made this public. There was a legit concern, unlike there is today. And then the girl in 2015 had a very similar story. Here's the latest. Hours after Chris Noth was fired from the CBS The Equalizer, Sarah Jessica Parker, Cynthia Nixon, and Kristen Davis broke their silence on the sexual misconduct allegations recently levied against their former co-star. In a joint statement posted to their social media accounts Monday, the actresses wrote that they are deeply saddened. Everybody's always deeply saddened about the allegations. They go on to say, we support the women who have come forward and shared their painful experiences. We know it must be a very difficult thing for them to do, and we commend them for it. Noth, 67 years old, has faced multiple career setbacks since he was accused of sexual assault by 3 women in the past week, in alleged incidents that date back to the early 2000s. Noth has claimed the allegations are all categorically false. He also claims they were consensual. On Sunday, A3 Artists Agency confirmed to USA Today that Noth has been dropped as a client. That's bad. That means he can't get any work because his agency is now like, nope, you're toxic. We don't want you here. On Monday, Noth was fired from the CBS crime drama The Equalizer, in which he played an old friend of Queen Latifah's character who runs a private security. Nobody cares. And in a statement shared with USA Today on Saturday, Entertainment Arts Research CEO Bernard Rubin said his company would no longer purchase. Oh, he had a tequila brand that was about to be purchased for $12 million. And on Saturday, the company that was going to purchase his tequila brand for $12 million said, nope, we're pulling out.
Probably not a good idea to purchase his tequila brand of anything.
Mr. Big Tequila, probably not. Entertainment Arts Research CEO Bernard Rubin said his company would no longer purchase Noth's tequila brand, Ambhar Tequila, which was previously under contract to be bought for $12 million. Quote goes on to say, at this point in time, it doesn't make sense for us to move forward with this deal in light of claims which must be taken with the utmost seriousness. The accusations were published after Noth's character, Mr. Big, died of a heart attack in the premiere episode of HBO Max's Sex and the City sequel, And Just Like That. The latest accuser, a 30-year-old tech executive, said the alleged encounter happened in 2010 when she was working as a hostess and lounge singer at the Manhattan restaurant Da Marino. She was 18 at the time, and Noth was 55. The account from someone known as Ava, she was granted a pseudonym, details an encounter with Noth in the back office of the restaurant as she prepared her late-night exit after work. Ava provided her story on December the 16th and said she wrote her account of the assault in October of 2020. In a report published December 16th, two women, and this goes on to the other two women that are, but here's the thing, because we went through both of these. I think James, it was me and James. We went through both of the first two. This third one is new. The first two accounts of two women on separate sides of the country separated by a decade, they were almost identical. Like the way he did it. He would sneak up from behind them, bend them over, pull their pants down, and, go to town or whatever. I mean, doesn't that seem weird that the details of how he actually did it, the move was this? How many other women? I mean,
well, and that's kind of
creepy.
I feel so bad for these women that don't have enough courage to come out because they think that somehow they're not going to be believed. But I'd like to think that it's different. I'd like to think that it's different today. And if you are out there and this has happened to you, that you're going to come out, because I mean, guys like that don't change. They keep on getting away with it. They just feel more and more.
We're falling
entitled
into this thing now. And my girl Leslie is falling into this thing. She's already declared him a rapist. That makes me a little bit. These stories are not good. But I don't know that I'm convinced he's look, let's let other people determine if he's a rapist or not. I don't know. It sounds bad. If these are true, and I'm just uncomfortable with the whole...
I mean,
we're good.
Don't you think? Okay.
All I'm saying is people can say what they want to say, and I don't.
But so we're not stepping on eggshells here.
Yeah.
I think, like, at some point, all of these past indecent things that men have done to women, there needs to be a national, hey, this is the day. Or the period of time,
get it all out today.
That it needs to, all y'all need to come out within this month.
Well,
or anything back from here is
so
gone.
They're dealing with their deep emotional trauma. Must fit into your schedule. You are creating a schedule when they must be okay to come forward.
How do we have the ability to claw back 15 years,
I don't know,
20 years and go, yes, this is true. No, this is false, and stand there with any kind of integrity on either side when it's a he said, she said. I mean, I'm not discounting their pain.
We are 5 minutes over, and I don't have James Parker here with us for cover because we could have this conversation, but we need somebody to take the brunt of the hatred, and I don't want it to be you or me. Maybe we talk about this in Pillow Talk at some point. I'm sure we'll get into it again. I don't look. Leslie's got points. I want to engage. I want to have a conversation about it, but nope. Not without James here, because everyone will just hate him. That always makes me feel better. Because no matter what bad thing I say, he will say something even worse that will draw cover for me.
But I mean, how long? Again, I'm not defending anybody. How long can you go back? Like, I mean, look how it worked out against the judge.
All right, folks. Thank you. Say goodbye. I get what you're saying. I get it. All right. Whoa, whoa. Pillow talk. I don't know. Maybe I got my, like I said, it's a little bit up and down this week. Maybe we jump on. Maybe we do something. We'll see. We'll see how that works out tonight. We might go out to dinner tonight. We're gonna do a lot of Christmas shopping running around. So maybe not tonight. But rest assured, as I said, we will be doing high noon shows every day this week, regardless of the lack of content. It doesn't matter. We'll still be here. And I'll do pillow talk shows when we're here, like when I'm here and we can jump in. I got until Thursday, so I could tell you I'll drop them off Thursday evening. So we'll definitely do a pillow talk Thursday night, like a Christmas Eve pillow talk, and then we'll do a Christmas Eve show. It'll be it'll be fine. Just grant me this, please. I apologize for any interruption in schedule. All right, thank you all. We'll see you again. Don't forget, support the show if you can. But again, you do you. It's Christmas. We could use the help, but just thought I'd mention it. You're all beautiful. Appreciate you. Okay, bye everybody. Have a good day. I am on a never-ending quest.